Okay, boys. I've played the demo a few times so far, so I think I'm ready to give out my impressions. As someone who grew up with Robocop movies, so I'm definitely speaking from the perspective of someone who is a fan of the IP. Robocop's movies and games too. What I've tried in the demo, overall I would say will make happy most Robocop fans, because they've managed to sell you the power fantasy of being Robocop, like this humanoid tank that goes forward, doesn't flinch despite being shot by multiple fire weapons. And this is something they've definitely nailed, in my opinion. In terms of gameplay, which is the most important thing in my opinion, the feeling of the overall game is good. The movement, which may not be for everyone, because the character is quite slow, but you can enable like a faster pace when you walk, so it's not always detrimental. You can especially when you're roaming around the hub areas, that's gonna come in handy quite a bit, because the standard walk speed is a bit slower, I have to say. So it can be grating after a while. But if you run, you won't have issues, unless you're a zoomer with the attention span of a goldfish, then that's a problem, but that's not the case for me. In terms of shooting, the shooting feels good, feels meaty. It's it packs up a punch. When you shoot a weapon, you can hear like the sound, the feedback on the screen. Gives you overall the impression of a chunky weapon. All the weapon I've tried, mostly, like I said, the Auto 9, which is the basic weapon, the Uzi, the AK, a 9mm gun standard, and an SMG. I think these are the only weapons that are in the demo. All of them feel good, I have to say. My favorites are definitely the basic handgun and the Uzi, for the way for how they control overall. Because, for example, the AK doesn't feel very good, but not because of the way it shoots, but because when you go into precision mode with the left trigger, like you scan the enemies, with the AK you'll go in iron sight, like it's Call of Duty, but in my opinion it shouldn't be that way. It should have just zoomed in. But I guess the devs thought they needed an iron sight weapon to catch the Call of Duty crowd. I don't know. Doesn't make sense even for Robocop to aim down the sights, because he's a machine. I even say it in my video, my gameplay video.
After you.
But yeah, overall, I'll say the weapon and the shooting in general feel good, which is definitely one of the most important things they had to nail, and in my opinion, they did. Now, when it comes to the rest of the gameplay, the game is quite reminiscent of Terminator Resistance, of course. So if you've played that game, you'll feel at home with this one. Especially with the Infiltrator mode, because the Robocop takes a few things from that one. Namely, like you've seen the breach. You have to breach some rooms that are locked in, full of enemies. And you'll get a slowdown after you breach them. That's in the Infiltrator mode. And also the rechargeable medikits. Like, you'll find medikits around the level that will heal your overall health. In Terminator, they heal you like only a percentage, and then when you're almost dead, your health will stay like that. Meanwhile, here in Robocop, when your health comes down like to single digits, it will automatically regenerate up to 20%, I think. Which is, like I said, which is not something that it used to do in Terminator. And yes, it does it on every difficulty, even on extreme. It will regenerate when you're in single digits, up to 20. Other than that, the game has a very similar feeling to your average like game that has hub areas and dialogue options. So I'm not sure if you've played other games like Prey, for example. Prey 2018, 2017, I don't remember when it came out. Prey, a little bit of Bioshock, but also Terminator Resistance too. It's you can talk to people in the hub areas. Talk to people, select dialogue options. There's a little bit of an RPG component, very tiny, but it's there. You can unlock skill points. There's a skill menu where you can unlock certain skills for each category. There's like a way to upgrade the gun, the main gun too. But sadly in the demo there are no gun upgrades, so I can't tell you exactly what upgrades are gonna be there in that regard. The character upgrades are pretty varied from what I've seen. Like there's increased armor, increased damage, like an extra sprint to go faster for a brief period of time to get out of danger. The possibility to crack saves, and to electrocute yourself, like to regain up to 50% health, I think too. It's one of the skills. It's a pretty. They did a good job with that. One thing I have to mention, I personally don't like is the fact that the main weapon has infinite bullets. In my opinion, it's not really necessary, because there's plenty of ammo in the level, so it's not like you're gonna run out of ammo ever. Worst case scenario, you can just pick up a gun. But yeah, the choice of making the ammo infinite for that single weapon, I don't know, I don't like it. I would have liked if they gave you a limited number of bullets, or that you, like, I don't know, you could pick it up. Anything would have been better, in my opinion, than that one. The game has gore, quite a little bit of gore, I have to say. It's a little reminiscent of Soldier of Fortune 1, for whoever has played that game. Although I have to say the gore is not really up to par with that game, but considering it's pretty much non-existent nowadays to find a decent gore system in a game, I'll say it's better than nothing. The enemies will react differently depending on which part of the body you shoot them on.
Just keep in mind that I'm here if you need
So
me,
that's nice. It always makes shooting enemies more pleasant when a game is like that, in my opinion.
Just look at that, boys. The police
Something else to add
not sure which one is which. You're gonna take that back.
is that, yeah, the gore is there, but there's no dismemberment really. I've tried shooting enemies on the ground to see if I could cut off their limbs, but no, that's not possible, sadly. At least in the demo. Yeah, like you see, you don't really do extra damage. Much. Like, for example, you can't do what you do in Resident Evil 2 Remake, where you can dismember an enemy. That's not possible here. Which sucks, because I was hoping you could, but what can you do? When it comes to the scan mode, which is your aim mode, it highlights the enemies you see on the screen. But the problem I have with this is that when you exit the scan mode, the highlight on the enemies will disappear, and that should, in my opinion, it shouldn't be this way. In my opinion, the highlight should remain even after you exit the precision mode, because you don't really want to always stay in precision mode, in my opinion, because as you see close, it reduces your FOV because it zooms in. So it's not something you always want to stay in, because it limits your view. So I wish that it's something that will change in the game if possible. Other than that, when it comes to gameplay, I think I've mentioned most of the things I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the interactivity with the levels. The destruction, environmental destruction is decent. Like I'm trying to showcase here, you cannot shoot like everything. Like you see, like for example, the chair doesn't really react that much. But for the most part, I would say they did a decent job, because a lot of the objects will get destroyed. Like you see the plant, the column. I would say interactivity is decent. Not the best I've seen, but not the worst either. Graphics-wise, the game uses Unreal Engine 5, so it's not gonna be super easy to run if your hardware is old. For example, I was able to max out Terminator resistance with a RX 5600 XT. And I think Terminator Resistance was an Unreal Engine 4 game. Meanwhile, this one, like I said, it's Unreal 5. Right now, I do have an RX 6650 XT, along with my Ryzen 5600. So, like I said, I was able to max out Terminator with the 5600 CPU and this 5600 XT GPU. While with this one, max out, I mean I can get at least 1080p 60 FPS with max settings. That's what I mean with max out. In this one, 1080p 60 FPS, but they are not stable, and around medium high settings, some settings on medium, some on high.
Thank God you've come.
I don't know exactly like everything, but yeah, around high medium. For example, the shadows on medium.
Right.
The only thing I had on max are the textures. But to be honest, I'm not sure how much memory this game needs to run properly. I'm assuming 8 gigabytes of VRAM will be enough. But yeah, that was the only thing I had maxed out. And I'm not able to run this game at 1080p constant 60 FPS. Some cases will go 60, other cases will drop to like 40. It's rare that I get drops. Only when there's all objects flying all over the screen, like a very chaotic scene. But the drops are there. So I'm assuming you'll need a quite powerful PC to max this game out. So don't expect to run this with this maxed out 1080p 60 FPS with an entry level GPU, sadly. As for the rest, I think I've mentioned when it comes to gameplay everything I wanted to. I'm trying to think if there's something else I want to mention. The game comes out like in a month, I think. The demo had stuttering issues when it was loading scenes, some of the scenes. Like if you were moving to one room or the other, from one room to the other, there were big stutters, but they supposedly fixed it with a patch. Yeah, I know, they patched the demo. The stuttering for me was almost fixed. It wasn't completely gone, but it's still there, but very, very rarely. So hopefully they optimize the final game a little bit more so it runs more stable frame rate wise, I hope, for the final release. I'm not sure I'm gonna buy it day one. I like to see if I can find like a decent offer, because like as much as I like this game, I don't want to pay full price for it, like 60 bucks. So we'll see. I have personally tried the demo on both hard and extreme. This gameplay footage you're seeing is on hard. The gameplay I uploaded on my channel is extreme. I haven't tried easy or normal because normal too is too easy in my opinion. I would say the most balanced mode is probably hard, because you receive pretty chunky damage, but you don't die immediately, like on extreme. Like it's kind of ridiculous on extreme. You die like very quickly. You'll have to take cover, like if you're playing Call of Duty. The thing is with these games where the characters are very strong, for example Robocop, Superman or whatever, you have a daunting task to accomplish, because you don't want to make the character too strong, because otherwise the game is too easy. But you don't want to make them too weak either, because you know you're playing as Terminator, Robocop, Superman, or whatever. And on extreme, it's kind of ridiculous how the enemies wreck you with simple guns. Because when you see, even in cutscenes or in the movies, like simple pistols or SMGs are not able to damage Robocop, but here on extreme they'll wreck you. So I personally say, if you want a good amount of challenge, but don't want the game to be too frustrating or too like that feels not very close to the source material, I'll say play on hard on your first playthrough, and then maybe in the next one play extreme, because it felt like more balanced than extreme. Hard feels more balanced than extreme in my opinion. Normal is probably too easy, so I won't even consider it when I play the final game. But yeah. So in conclusion, the game feels good to play, and that's the most important thing. Weapons are good. The setting looks good, faithful to the movie. Shooting is good. Graphics are not the best. They are functional. They are functional to the game. Let's just say that. Some of the models, character models, are really not the best. But this is not a big budget game, so you have to take what you can with these kind of games. And yeah, so be happy that they even made a Robocop game this good in 3D. Be happy. Yeah, as you can see, some enemies have iron masks. The iron mask should be on every difficulty, I think. But I don't know, I've tried only hard and extreme, like I said. The enemies can feel a bit spongy sometimes, so be mindful of that, on extreme especially, but it's not that big of a deal. Just headshot them and you'll be fine. So what else is there to recap? The graphics I talk about, gameplay. Yeah, I think I've touched everything. I just hope they really improve the performance for the final release, because right now it feels a bit buggy. The demo feels buggy and a little bit janky in some regards. So like I said, I hope they fix everything for release. I really hope this game is a success, because these guys deserve it. The developers deserve it for Terminator and for this one, because they did a good job handling the IPs, in my opinion. These are the types of games that will make the fans of the IPs happy, but I don't think are gonna like light a fire in the heart of those who did not grow up with these movies. So, but it's okay. Not every game needs to be for everyone. So, like I said, it's fine. Not every game needs to be catered or developed with everyone in mind. It's fine if a game is made for a specific subset of people, as long as they buy it. So yeah, I think I've touched everything. I'll leave it here, because I don't want to make the video too long. And yeah, hope you enjoy the game and you buy it on day one to support these guys, because I think they deserve it. But yeah, this is it. This is everything for this video, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.